In this video, I'm going to talk about the cosine rule, and but we're going to look at the other side of it, which is how to work out missing angles. Now, unfortunately, you've got two options really. You can memorize this new formula which I'm going to show you, or you can remember how to kind of use it, or you could how to kind of get it yourself in order to work out a missing angle. Now, this is still part of the cosine rule. It's just another formula for you to work out missing angles in scalene or equilateral or isosceles triangles. Again, you can use it on right angle triangles, but stick to SOHCAHTOA because it's quicker. Okay, so let's say we have this triangle here, and we know all three sides, we know how long all three sides are, and I want to work out this angle here in this bottom left hand corner. And if you remember, this is the cosine rule for working out how long a particular side is. So remember how it works is, if this is the angle A, then this side here would be the A in the formula, so this would be A, and this would be B and C in the formula. So what one option is, and by the way, we don't know what that angle is. So one option is that you could plug in 10, 12, and 15 in the correct places in the formula, and then rearrange it to work out what cos A is and so on. So let's just do that now. So okay, so 15 would be the A in the formula. Okay, B and C would, remember, it's two sides and the angle between them. So B and C would be 10 and 12, and they'd go in where B and C are. So let's actually do that here. So A was 15, B, let's say B was 10 and C is 12. And A, the angle capital A, we don't know what that is. So if we put that in the formula, that would be 15 squared is equal to 10 squared plus 12 squared, take away 2 times 10 times 12 times cos of something we don't know. Okay, so let's work out some of those things to kind of reduce the numbers of it. So 15 squared is 225, 10 squared is 100, 12 squared is 144, and this bit here we'll just do 2 times 10 times 12, so that would be minus 240 times cos A. So what I did was just did 2 times 10 times 12, which is that, times cos A. Now, we don't know what the angle is, but I want to work it out. So what would I have to do? Okay, so you know this minus 240 times cos A, I'm going to add that to the other side, and then I'm going to take away the 225, so I would get 240 times cos A, and that equals 100, add 144, take away 225. Okay, so let's work that out. So 100, sorry, what was the, yes, so 100 plus 144, take away 225, that's 19. And then this is 240 cos A. Now, I'm going to get the cos A on its own, so I have to take the 19 and divide it by 240. So 19 divided by 240 is going to be a horrible decimal. So how do I work out A? Well, the opposite of cos is cos to the minus 1, which is 19 over 240. So 19, so cos to the minus 1 of that is 85.5 degrees. Okay, so that is how big that angle here is. Okay, but that was a bit long-winded, wasn't it, really? So, and the thing is that you had to remember some things. So if I want to work out this angle in this bottom corner here, then in my formula, this would be my A, and these two sides would be your B and C. Okay, but what I want to teach you is, so that's one option, and then you had to do this all rearranging stuff to kind of get the actual cos A bit on its own, and then do cos to the minus 1 and get that angle. But what I'm going to teach you is I'm going to teach you a formula now, and that formula you can just sort of remember it, and it will kind of, you can just remember the formula and be easier. Okay, and this is how you get the formula first of all. So this is the other version of the cosine rule. Okay, so first of all, what we want to do is we want to isolate that cos A bit. We want to get that cos A bit on its own. So how do I do that? Well, first of all, what we're going to do is this minus 2bc, we're just going to add that to the other side. So we're going to have a squared, and then we're going to add 2bc cos A to the other side, and that's equal to b squared plus c squared. So we're just taking this bit here, and we just added it to the other side. Okay, just so that minus turns into a positive by adding it to the other side. Okay, so now the 2bc cos A is on the left hand side, and what we're going to do is we're going to take the a squared and we're going to subtract it to the other side. So b squared plus c squared minus a squared. So we've just taken that away to the other side, so subtracted it, and left with a 2bc cos A. Okay, in order to get the cos A on its own, we have to divide by 2bc, so b squared plus c squared minus a squared all over 2bc. Now this is the other version of the cosine rule, and that is something you can memorize, or you can remember what I've just done here to rearrange it if you understand that. Or you could just learn this, or you could do the thing where you substitute numbers in. But this is the rearranged version. This is the other version of the cosine rule. It's still called the cosine rule, but this version is useful for finding angles. I'm going to teach you how useful this formula is. Okay, so cos A is equal to b squared plus c squared minus a squared over 2bc. Okay, so here's the formula here. Cos A, cos of the angle that you want, is equal to b squared plus c squared minus a squared over 2bc. I'm going to teach you how simple this formula is. Okay, so let's just use that example that we started with. If I want to find out how big this angle is, in order to use this formula, I need to know all three sides of the triangle and how long they are. So I know all three sides of this triangle, so I can use this version of the cosine rule to work out this angle here. Now, in the formula, it's really important that you get A to be the right number. Okay, so this is the angle I want. So in the formula, this opposite side is your A. So that's going to go right there. And then these two are B and C. Okay, and it doesn't matter which way B and C go, but A in this formula, the little a, is got to be the one that is opposite the angle you want. Okay, so all you need to do is just fill in this formula here. So cos A is equal to, okay, so big fraction line, B, so that's 10 squared, plus C, which is 12 squared. Sorry, B squared is 10 squared, C squared is 12 squared. Take away the opposite side, which is 15 squared, all over 2 times 2bc. So 2bc, so it's 2 times 10 times 12. Okay, now, cos A. Now what I would do is I'd use the fraction button in order to work out this right hand side now. So I'm going to work out this right hand side. I'm going to press the fraction button, so 10 squared plus 12 squared, take away 15 squared, divided by 2 times 10 times 12. Okay, that gives us, okay, the calculator says 19 over 240, or that's 0.0791 blah 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 blah. Okay, but in order to work out the angle A, cos A is equal to that fraction. So in order to work out the angle, I need to do cos to the minus 1 of that fraction there, 19 over 240, or whatever my calculator gave me. I'm going to do cos to the minus 1 of that. So shift cos of that answer is 85.5, which is what we said before. So that is how big that angle is there, 85.5 degrees. Now, okay, now the great thing about this formula is that you can use it to work out any one of these angles in any of the corners, as long as you know all three sides. Okay, so let's use the same triangle again, and let's say I want to work out this corner here. I want to work out the angle in this corner. I'm going to call it B for now. Okay, so the most important thing is that you get A to be correct in the formula. So this is the angle in the corner, and this is its opposite side. So this is going to be my A in the formula, and then these two can be your B and C, which you can write in any order. B and C, doesn't matter which way B and C go, but A has to be the angle that is opposite. Sorry, A has to be the side that's opposite the corner. So let's put it into the formula. So I'd have to write cos B this time is equal to, okay, so let's say B was 15 squared plus 12 squared, take away 10 squared this time, divided by 2 times 15 times 12, and then cos B is equal to that number. Okay, so I use the fraction button, 15 squared plus 12 squared, take away 10 squared, divided by 2 times 15 times 12. According to the calculator, it's 269 over 360. Right, so the angle B is equal to cos to the minus 1 of that fraction. So shift cos of that answer is 41.6 degrees. That's how big that angle is in that corner. Okay, and let's just finish this video off by just doing it on the last corner. Okay, so the last corner, right, so okay, let's say I want to work out this corner here. Let's call it C. Okay, so we can call it whatever letter you want. So okay, to use the cosine rule to work out the angle, this is the opposite side to that angle, so this is going to be my A in the formula, and then these two are my B and C. Okay, so it doesn't matter which way B and C goes as long as A is in the right place. So cos C is equal to, okay, so B is 10, so 10 squared plus 15 squared, take away, in this case it would have to be 12 squared, divided by 2 times 10 times 15. Okay, so and let's just do it all in one go. So I'm going to do cos to the minus 1 of whatever fraction this thing turns out to be, and that's going to be my angle C for this corner. So I'm going to be ambitious. I'm going to do it in one go. I'm going to use the fraction button to do it. It's 10 squared plus 15 squared, take away 12 squared, divided by 2 times 10 times 15, and then cos to the minus 1 of all of that gives us 52.9 degrees. That's how big that corner is. Okay, so that formula, again, unfortunately, is something you need to remember. So you need to remember that formula, or you can remember how to get the formula, or you can use kind of like the cosine rule original version and kind of rearrange it. Probably the best thing to do is, because it's quick, just memorize this. Okay, just remember whatever angle you want, this angle is this A is the opposite side to that angle, and B and C are just the other two remaining sides. Plug it in the formula, work it out, and don't forget to do cos to the minus 1 at the end. Okay, and that's kind of it. That's the cosine rule. That's the two versions of it. Just to summarize that then. So these are the two formulas that you need to remember, and just recall what they're useful for. So this one here is for working out sides, missing sides, and this one here is for working out missing angles, and they're both called cosine rule. Just remember the top one. Okay, remember the rule about the top one. Okay, it's two sides and the angle between the two sides. Remember, they're B and they're C. So to use this formula, you need to know two sides and the angle between them, and then you can work out the third side. That's your A. And this one, the angles one, you need to know all three sides. So you need to know this side, this side, this side. And if you want to work out this angle, then this side is your A, and then these two are your B and C in the formula. And then don't forget to do cos to the minus 1 of whatever all of that is to work out what the actual angle is. And don't forget to square root all of that at the end to work out the actual length. Okay, so they're the two things you need to remember for the cosine rule, and you want to do some practice on this now. Okay, thank you for listening. I know you've been very patient, and apologies for it being such a long video, but it's kind of difficult to explain in such a short time. Okay, and email me if you get stuck, guys. Thank you very much.